I am Desi Arnaz, professional investor and wealth coach. I have been an entrepreneur and an investor for almost my entire life. I opened my first business when I was 17 years old, and it was just a wholesale jewelry business. And I sold costume jewelry to anybody that I could sell it to, literally, But so I've got a deep, deep reservoir of experiences because that's 50 years ago, that I started the first business. I've had multiple corporations. I've owned the Century 21 franchise, a couple of mortgage companies, a jewelry business, as I said, a ladies' clothing store. I've owned a music store where we sold, popular music, records, and tapes back in the day. Um, I've owned a real estate investment firm. I've owned a corporate credit firm where we help people get corporate credit. I mean, I've done so many things. And so I just consider myself a resource. And so today, we're actually going to do something that I call Q&A Fridays. Time to ask Desi. So if you got any questions that you might want to ask, feel free to do so. And while you guys formulate your questions, I just want to give a shout out to my sponsor. Our sponsor today is the Note Mentor. That's Patrick and his crew over at the Note Mentor, and they're sponsoring our show today. And I want to just tell you about a new product that the Note Mentor just released. And here it is right here. It is their Millionaire Maker Note Investor Coaching Program. Now, think about that. That's a mouthful, but Millionaire Maker Note Investor Coaching. There are a lot of people out there right now that are teaching people the note business, but holding your hand and helping you to become successful by coaching you, I don't know anybody else that's really doing that. And that's what Patrick and his crew has put together. Their program, let's see here. Their program includes, I have a handy little note card here. And by the way, I'm part of that program with them. I'm one of the coaches. Their program includes 24-hour access to the Note Investor University, which is an online training portal where you can learn 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anything that you want to know about note investing, whether where to find notes, how to buy notes across state lines, how to do due diligence. You want to understand the note terminology, how to use a mortgage calculator, how to do the paperwork, what the difference is between various documents, how trust works. I mean, anything that you want to know about learning to be a note investor, you can learn it right here. And so I do want to thank my friends again, as I said, over at the Note Mentor for sponsoring our show today. And by the way, they've launched this program, and what they have right now is a special price on it. It's the scheduled price is $3.99 a month. And you get a 1-hour coaching session every single month, one-on-one with myself or with Patrick. You also get a live video conferencing every single week, every Saturday with other note investors, every Saturday morning with other real investors, not just wannabes. And on that call, we talk about real deals and real situations in the note space. That is valuable content, I'm telling you. In addition to that, you also get this pocket guide. It's a guide that was prepared by the folks over at the Note Mentor to help you navigate the business. If you need to know something, literally, you pull out your pocket guide, you look it up, and there it is. You'll also become one of their preferred investors. And what that means is this: when something new comes on the market, anything new that they have for sale, you'll have first access to it before it hits the market. But I'll talk a little bit more about that before long. But for right now, I want to thank the folks over at the Note Mentor for sponsoring today. So let's see what we got. Oh, we have my friend Kish North. Hello, Senior North. I'm glad to see you on our call today, or on my live. It's not a call. Glad to see you on the live today. Look at that handsome face. A fellow Baldy. I like that. All right, Senior North, welcome to today's show. I call this show Q&A Fridays, Ask Desi. Because of my depth, the depth of experience in my background, I have done so many things throughout my 50 years as a self-employed person. I do find people will call me often or write me to ask me questions just to help them through whatever situation they have. I don't charge for that. I just answer questions. And if I don't know the answer, the odds are I know someone that does know the answer so that I can at least point you in the right direction. And so, uh, as I said today, I was going to be, as we wait for some questions to come in, I'm going to be talking a little bit about something that's pretty near and dear to my heart as far as business goes, and that is corporate credit. Now, if you're not familiar with what corporate credit is, it is where um, your business applies and receives credit rather than you personally. You know, most small business owners make the fatal mistake, in my opinion, of taking too much personal credit on, too much personal debt on in order to launch their companies, you know, and to run their businesses. I don't know if any of you guys on this broadcast have ever done that. I certainly made that mistake myself early on when I was a younger business person and I didn't understand how to create a separate credit profile under my entity. But now that I understand that, that's what I want to encourage you, that that should be one of your goals. You know, if you create enough corporate credit and you do it properly, you don't have to put your social security number on the credit that your company receives. And if, knock on wood, but if, God forbid, your business fails, you're not personally liable for all of that debt. Now, there's some situations that some lenders that they will require a personal guarantee. But in my personal experience is this: they may ask for a personal guarantee, especially initially, but if you perform well during the time that you have that credit, you can certainly approach the lender to ask to be released from the personal guarantee as your business's net worth grows. And so I strongly advise people to consider looking at establishing corporate credit. All right. I see Kish brought up a good point here. He said that Dun and Bradstreet, for those of you guys that don't know it, DNB is Dun and Bradstreet, and that is a corporate credit agency, kind of like Experian would be for individuals, right? Now, Dun and Bradstreet does have a program that will help people build credit under their corporate profile. And it's a good program. They'll help you get set up, help you get structured right. They'll even help you get small corporate credit lines in your business name. For example, it's pretty easy to get a credit card from Staples. Some gas cards are pretty easy to get in your corporate name if you've been in business for a year or more. There are other smaller credit lines that you can get. And what happens is if you perform well in those instances, then it makes you get a good credit rating with Dun & Bradstreet, and it makes it easier for you to go into your personal bank and talk to them about giving you a corporate credit line. Now, I can also tell you this: your first corporate credit line, and those of you that don't know the difference between like a credit line and just traditional credit, a credit line is like a credit card. It's something that you can use, pay it back, and use it again, pay it back. And for small businesses, that's a wonderful tool to have, because as you all know, when you're in business for yourself, you have some months where your income's up and you have some months where your income's down. You know, sales are up, sales are down. Well, when sales are down, or if people aren't paying you like they should, maybe your customers are slow paying, then you need to still be able to cover your overhead. And if you have a credit line, it's a great thing that you can bring to the table, right? That credit line, a corporate credit line. And you can use that to bridge the slowdown in your income. All right. Oh, Scott. Hello, Mr. Carson. Scott Carson just popped on. Scott mentions that Merrill Chandler from Get Fundable, formerly Credit Senses, they help build business credit too. And I love that. Yeah. I know that I don't build corporate credit. I used to do it for people before the last crash, but there are sources out there, and you guys should be plugging into to some of those sources. Thank you very much, and welcome, Scott. Got Scott and Kish. Boy, it's my lucky day. Two big guns on my show. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I appreciate that. Well, I do have a question here from Joyce, because earlier this week I did a couple of lives, and one of them was on notes and one of them was on business. So I have two questions here from Joyce. She really hasn't invested in notes. She is a real estate investor and real estate agent in Georgia, and she's asking kind of really basic question like, what is a note, and how does it work? So I'm just going to say this, Joyce, about a note. A note is basically an IOU, or promise to pay. I know this has got nothing to do with corporate credit, those of you guys that I was just talking about that, but I'm just going to take a few questions right now. Okay, then I'll get back to that. But a note is an IOU. Anytime you borrow money or someone borrows money and they sign a document saying, I agree to pay you back, it's a promissory note. Okay, and it basically says, I owe you money and I will pay you back. I like to invest in mortgage notes. And what that means is the promissory notes that I invest in have collateral behind them. And collateral is something that you can take from someone if they don't pay you. So anyway, that's what I like. I get good returns on my mortgage notes. They're easy to manage. And what you want to do is you want to tune in on Monday at 2:00 on my show, my Invest Brilliantly broadcast show, and we will be talking a lot more about mortgage notes. But thank you so much for your question. Okay. I'm going to get back now to the corporate credit question. Kish says here, he says he's found that if you have the right structure and you come in with the right structure, then the assets in the deal are leveraged. After I got more educated in the spaces, I moved away from personal guarantees to making sure that the structure was set up where the assets and structure was the collateral. That is very good, especially when your business has assets, Kish, but not all small business owners have assets initially, except their personal assets, So what I try to do is, especially with a newer business, I like to go to smaller banks and I start developing relationships with them by taking out some small credit lines in my corporate name, but with personal guarantees. And then as I build up assets, you're right, you can start to get away from those personal guarantees. That's the name of the game, by the way. You want to get away from personal guarantees whenever possible. Let's see. Corporate credit. Okay. How do I get a small business loan? Michael is asking. Well, I think that this person, Merrill Chandler from Get Fundable, will be a good place to get started. It's getfundable.com. Get Fundable, FUNDABLE.com. That might be a good place to start. They can help you with that. I know that one of my partners recently got funding on his brand new LLC. He set up the LLC, and within about 90 days, he got a $15,000 credit line under that LLC. So that's pretty darn impressive to be able to get that done so quickly. And so those opportunities are out there. We got a couple of other people that have just popped on. June Smith. Hello, June. Welcome. My buddy Patrick Franz is on. He is the guy that actually sponsored my show today. And I'll just go ahead and pop that back up there to show you the Millionaire Maker Note Investor Coaching Program, sponsored by Patrick Franz. He is the owner of the Note Mentor. Hello, Patrick. Welcome today. Let's see here. I have another question here. How much does it take to start a small home-based business? Well, this is interesting because I can tell you personally, it doesn't take a lot of money to start a business at all. The bigger question is, what kind of business do you want, right? And is it going to be an information business, for example? If you want to start a business online and you're going to be selling stuff that you got inside your head, you could probably get that business launched for just a couple of $100s, literally. and then you just get out there and start to push that business. And you can promote it right online. On the other hand, if it's a business that's going to require a lot of inventory, you could spend thousands and thousands of dollars to start a home-based business. Some businesses require a lot of tools or equipment, things like that. So the numbers vary. But basically, to get a business license in most cities and counties is $30, right? You can get a business license and you are in business. Not a very big business, not a very profitable business at that point, but you're in business. And from there, you just have to see where you want to take it. And we talk about that on Wednesdays. Wednesdays at 2:00, Facebook Live. It's all about small home-based businesses. So if you want to learn more about that, plug into our Invest Brilliantly broadcast on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Okay? And you'll learn a lot more about how to invest or how to run your small home-based business. That's what that's all about. All righty. Kish wrote me another note. Boy, I love this. Kish is very interactive. Thank you, sir. Says here, there are lenders out there that will lend in the space if you come in with 15 to 25% of your own cash without a PG. PG meaning personal guarantee. If you come in with some cash, you can get 75% of what you need from these lenders with no personal guarantee. That's awesome. You should do that anytime you can. Okay. Personal guarantees are what will kill you. See, it's one thing for your business to fail. And we know that 95% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years, right? For whatever reason, right? New startups. And if you have personally guaranteed everything, not only does your business fail, but you also lose your car, you lose your house or whatever else, your savings. If you took your retirement out and you are using that as to fund the deal, to fund your transaction, it just hurts. So anytime you can get away from using your personal credit and guaranteeing everything, and you let that business stand on its own, guys, that has to be your goal. It has to be your goal. Okay. So corporate credit, it says here, how does corporate credit work? Basically, it works just like traditional credit. If you're looking for credit, you apply at some lender. They're going to review your guidelines. And trust me when I tell you this, you're going to have to apply at a lot of different lenders. I mean, I've been turned down by so many lenders when I was looking for credit for my corporation. But there's always somebody out there that you can find that will lend money to your business. And most of them will do it with a personal guarantee if you've got decent credit of your own. Okay. But some of them will do it with a personal guarantee that has a expiration date, which is really nice. So if they say, okay, we want a personal guarantee for 3 years. If you have a perfect pay history for 3 years, then we'll drop the guarantee. That kind of thing is really nice. And if you can structure that, do it. The other thing that I like to do is, as I mentioned earlier, I like to go to small banks, regional banks, local banks, where you can talk directly with a vice president or the president of the bank, tell them what you're doing, see if they'll give you a small credit line. I've been offered as small as $4,000 without a personal guarantee. I'll take whatever they'll give me without a personal guarantee. So if they offered you $4,000 or $5,000, take it. I was able to grow that credit line to more than $40,000. And that was some years ago, but I was able to grow it to more than $40,000 without a personal guarantee, simply by being responsible, paying the payments when I borrowed the money, pay it back when I said I'd pay it back, and pay the interest and pay on time, things like that. So that's what we've got. If you want to know more about how you can find other sources for money, you can attend SCORE. Or get in touch with SCORE. That stands for the Service Corps of Retired Executives. You'll find a SCORE chapter in every major city in the United States. These are retired executives that have volunteered their time to help new business owners and growing business owners avoid making mistakes, and they help point you in the right direction so that your business will thrive. So I definitely suggest that you take a look at SCORE. All right, guys. So if you guys don't have any other questions, that's the content I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope you found it useful. I hope you found it enlightening. And if you have a small business, you should pay attention to what I just said, because if you wanted to grow it to be a large business, it's going to require that you do something like that. And you start to separate yourself from it. One last shout out to my sponsor. My sponsor is the Note Mentor, Patrick and his crew over there. They have this Millionaire Maker Note Investor Coaching Program. It's $97 a month, worth every penny. As a matter of fact, you just, if you want to sign up for it, or even if you just want to know more about it, you can go to investbrilliantly.com. That's my website. And there is a link on my website that says, tell me about the coaching. And if you go there, you can learn all about the coaching right there on my website. And if you decide to sign up, who knows? I might even be your coach. That would be awesome. We could get a chance to work together, do some deals together too. Because as your coach, I'm going to make sure you buy some notes. Okay. I'm not just going to teach you how to buy notes. I'm going to make you buy some notes. And you're not going to use your own money if you listen to me. Okay. I'll show you how to do this using other people's money. And that's what Patrick teaches over there. He and his crew are awesome. All right, guys. Thank you very much. God bless you all so much. And I appreciate your time. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe from the coronavirus.